But let's talk some NBA here. Kawhi Leonard, the trade is official. He is officially a member of the Toronto Raptors. According to ESPN.com's Brian Windhorst, Leonard passed his physical yesterday to finalize his deal and the move, of course, north of the border. He missed 73 games last season with the San Antonio Spurs, so there was some perhaps minor caution about the health and the standing of Kawhi Leonard as we stand, but looks all good. Now, Turner Sports' David Aldridge reported the Raptors will have, quote, a very tough sell on their hands if they want to convince Leonard he should extend and stay with the Toronto Raptors. And, of course, they're going to have to compete against the likes of the LA Lakers, the LA Clippers, and perhaps some other suitors out there like a Boston Celtics or a Philadelphia 76ers. It's going to be an uphill climb for the Toronto Raptors to convince Kawhi Leonard to stay in Canada. And I have said it many times on this show that Kawhi is going to the LA Lakers at some point, and that some point is probably going to be 2019. Now, what do you guys think? Will Kawhi be with the Lakers in 2019? Type Y for yes, type N for no in comments. I'm on Facebook Live as well as YouTube Live. Now, we are in peak Kawhi Leonard rumors season here because you have the San Diego Union Tribune providing a contrasting view to what Aldridge reported. So the Tribune said a source said he's going to fall in love with Toronto. It's going to happen. He's not going to leave. I'm telling you. So we are in classic Kawhi Leonard rumors season right now. One report says it's going to be a tough sell for the Raptors. Another report says, oh, he's extending with Toronto. I'm telling you right now. Here's what I'm going to tell you. I think he stays at the LA Lakers, goes to the LA Lakers and kind of restarts his career, if you will, with LeBron James and a good cast of young players on that franchise. All right, so that's the latest there with Kawhi Leonard. Let's go to some other news items out there. The Knicks have officially signed Noah Vonleh, turns 23 years of age in August. He's a former lottery pick, spending 4 seasons with 3 teams during his NBA career. Not exactly a resume you want. His most successful stint came during a 21-game stretch with the Chicago Bulls during the 2017-18 season. Averaged 6.9 points and 6.9 rebounds with Chicago. Enes Kanter is a lock to start at center, but after that, the rotation is a little unclear if you want to talk about the front court here. Kevin Knox will play some stretch 4. Mitchell Robinson showed some upside in Vegas as well, but he might be too raw to garner some legit minutes. So I think Vonleh has an opportunity to really register some solid minutes with the New York Knicks, a team that, by the way, probably won't see Kristaps Porzingis for the first half of the regular season. So the Knicks are going to have to get a little creative in terms of who they shell out there on the hardwood and how many minutes those players on the front court actually get. All right, next up on the list, could a Larry Nance Jr. extension come pretty soon? So Nance would be the second front court player in Cleveland to receive a new deal after the Cavs, of course, announced yesterday that they have signed Kevin Love to a multi-year contract extension, and Nance can become a restricted free agent next season. So as long, I guess, as the Cavs make a $3.4 million qualifying offer, they would be able to match any offer sheet he signs with another team next summer. But you would think the Cavs don't even want to go down that road, right? You would think they want to just get some sort of extension done so they don't have to go through a Zach LaVine or Jabari Parker type of situation here because, yeah, I mean, the market for players who fall short of maximum contracts is hard to predict at times, and Larry Nance Jr. falls into that category. He should provide energy, rebounding off the bench there for the Cavs for some 20 to 25 minutes a game. He's a viable option there coming off the bench. So I think it would be smart for Gilbert and company to get some sort of deal done there with Mr. Larry Nance. All right, you guys are watching the Cam Rogers Show presented by AutoList. Are you looking for a new or used car out there, or you're tired of browsing a million sites to do so? Be sure to go to Autolist.com and get that car shopping done in a flash, or download their top-rated mobile app for iPhone or Android today. Be sure to say hello in the comments section. I want to hear from you guys. Let me know where you're watching from, by the way. All right, next up on the list. Will the Jordan brand be dropping Kawhi Leonard pretty darn soon? Well, according to ESPN.com, Jordan brand will let Leonard, quote, walk when his contract expires later this year. Now, extension talks reportedly stalled earlier this year after Leonard turned down a 4-year, $22 million extension for reasons beyond my comprehension. And he is not one of the only sneaker free agents out there, impending free agents, if you will. Joel Embiid, Andrew Wiggins, Gordon Hayward, DeMarcus Cousins, Isaiah Thomas, Kelly Oubre as well. All these guys, some big ticket items on the open market there for brands to kind of sign here. The real question is this. This is my philosophical question of the segment. At this point, how marketable is Kawhi Leonard? After the whole San Antonio Spurs debacle last year, when we were waiting for him to show up in the playoffs, and he never did, and he missed 73 games with a nagging quad injury, but then towards the later part of the season, there were reports out there that, well, from a physical standpoint, he's fine, but from a mental standpoint, he wasn't, and now he's with Toronto, not exactly LA, not the biggest brand city, if you will, although I'm no business major, I'm no PR major. But it is a legit question. Now, he is a 2-time All-Star, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, 3-time All-Defensive First-Team selection. And you have that, the resume, to kind of bolster him and help him out a little bit. But the fact that he turned down a 4-year, $22 million extension is interesting, to say the least. All right, let's go to the next rumor on the list. Will Dwyane Wade play in China? Well, I talked about this in a previous episode. Now, the Golden Bulls have reportedly offered Wade a 3-year, $25 million deal to finish his career overseas. Now, last week, he signed a lifetime deal with a Chinese apparel company. So he's got some Chinese ties, if you will. And, hey, if the Heat want him back for one reason or another, they can only give him either the taxpayer mid-level exemption, which is $5.3 million, or a minimum salary, which is $2.3 million, since they are already over the soft cap as we stand. Now, last year, Wade was serviceable, 12 points per game with the Heat, also had a 28-point outburst against the Philadelphia 76ers in Game 2 of the NBA playoffs. You may recall that. You have to wonder if Wade will still, consider this, and maybe even seriously consider this when you take into account his ties to the country of China and the fact that he was just there, or maybe he still is there, promoting his shoe brand and all that. So it's an interesting story to track because he's going to make a lot of money if he does accept this deal. If he goes back to the Heat, he's going to make minimal compared to what he could get in China. So keep that in mind. Now, Wade has been very adamant that, he's just trying to go through the business side of things with his shoe brand and not really thinking about basketball as we stand. But eventually, he's going to have to make some sort of decision. So we'll see what that decision actually is. All right, Carmelo Anthony. So he was traded from the Thunder to the Hawks just recently. Some buzz out there that he's going to pretty much sign with the Houston Rockets. And the latest update is that, well, maybe he will embrace this new role. So he reportedly received a buyout from the Hawks. He is prepared to sign a 1-year, $2.4 million contract with the Houston Rockets. Mike D'Antoni will reportedly use Melo as a small ball forward who stretches the floor for Chris Paul and James Harden. Now, Anthony and D'Antoni have clashed before when the two were with the Knicks back in the 2011 and 2012 season. And it's safe to say last year was a little odd for Carmelo Anthony in Oklahoma City because, well, he didn't shoot the ball very well, and he only averaged 16.2 points per game. That was a career low for him. And there was some buzz that, well, maybe the move to power forward and trying to be this I guess, catch-and-shoot player for the Thunder. Didn't really work out. Well, it sounds like he's going to do that again with the Houston Rockets, so he's going to have to figure it out. And maybe all Melo needs is a change of scenery, if you will, playing in Houston and playing alongside one of your best buddies in Chris Paul, right? So keep that in mind there in terms of the future of Carmelo Anthony and how he fits in this Houston Rockets offense. All right, so one of the more interesting stories as we stand right now that Kawhi has been settled and now that LeBron James has been settled, it's all about Carmelo Anthony now and how he is going to fit within the Rockets organization. So with that, will Melo succeed with the Houston Rockets? Type M for yes, type N for no in comments. I want to hear from you guys. I am going to take the positive approach here and say M for yes, because I think Oklahoma City probably wasn't the best spot for him. I think Houston is going to be a better location, and I think, look, 16.2 points per game is not the worst stat line in the world. So even if he does replicate that number, that's all the Houston Rockets really want. Because they have Chris Paul, because they have James Harden. They will likely have Clint Capella too once they figure that situation out. So there's not going to be any pressure on Carmelo Anthony, and I don't think Carmelo should feel the pressure or feel like he needs to at some point be the on-the-ball guy, because that's just not the reality of the situation.